please help me understand, how do you finance your operations?
I don't want to raise funds when I'm desperate. I cannot call my mom and be like, I need 15 million. She'll be like, oh my God, who has bewitched you in Nairobi? I'm someone who relies on the relationships in the financial sector to do that.
What were some of the key mistakes that really made you say, okay, I need to adjust this for my business, that you've seen a direct correlation to now the success you're seeing?
Date partners who add value into your life.
Interesting.
I did. And I think you need to be around people who are questioning your continuous growth, because it makes you rethink how you even want to answer those questions.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mantalk.ke. Thank you so much for coming back for another week of conversation. We are here at Glee Nairobi. It's one of the best hotels in Nairobi in our opinion. It has over 211 rooms. The aesthetic is outstanding. The staff are very friendly. I recommend it if you want a staycation or you want somewhere to come and impress somebody. Also, thank you so much to Johnny Walker. We're part of the Brighter Stories campaign at the moment, and it's all about, in a very, very dark world, having people that can really express what their journey's been and highlight the positives. So we hope through this conversation, you'll get to experience that too. But as always, this is Oscar's privilege to introduce the guests to my left. Mr. Come.
Without further ado, as you can tell, the set today is very bright, very nice. On my right side, I have Mandi Saro. It's been a long time coming. Culinary director and founder of Miss Mandi Throws Down.
Yeah.
An amazing, amazing woman. Really, really excited to hear your perspectives. And Maureen Bandari, a titan of the beauty industry. Titan for sure. A founder of Bandari Beauty, and congratulations on your recent launch in Sarit Center.
Thank you so much.
Ladies, I'll begin with the first question.
Okay.
Where do you think you feel you're at in your career at this point in time?
I feel like I'm at the point where if you are to go back to the younger Maureen, those levels where you imagined you cannot touch, to be honest. And now seeing myself get here slowly, of course, baby steps. So seeing myself here, I'm at a point where the unimaginable, can happen. So I'm at a point where I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I'm able to get here. But at the same time, this position is able to open me to so many things that are happening outside in the world, which makes you realize the younger Maureen and the vision that they had and the current Maureen, you realize there's way more that you need to do. So it's no longer about where I wanted to get. You see how you can have the sky's the limit, then you get to the sky, and then you realize, oh wow, there's heaven, there's hell, there's this whole universe. So I feel like where I am right now, I'm very grateful for how far I have come. But at the same time, I'm opening up to markets, to audiences that I never thought were possible. Yeah.
Wow, what an answer.
I love that. I'll echo a little bit on that by saying I'm also feeling like I'm in a space where I haven't seen someone do some of the things that I'm doing in my market right now in Kenya. And I'm feeling like I used to always think of myself as like a duck, but pedaling like hell at the bottom. Right now, I feel like an eagle. Like I keep looking down and I'm like, itabidi mmepepea na mimi. So I really like that. I like the fact that I've expanded my brand across Africa. I like that other African female founders keep reaching out to me to connect, to build with them. So I like the fact that I'm at the eagle perspective of just like gliding through this.
When we were putting the season together, you were such a natural fit because you have a friendship outside of this conversation as well.
Yeah.
So we've never done this before, but me and Oscar typically, we have a very strong friendship that's made this brand. But I'm curious, how would you describe Mandi if you were to introduce her, and how would you describe Maureen if you introduced her?
If I'm to introduce Mandi, let me just go back to my first memories of us together, especially when I came back to Nairobi because I used to live in Mombasa. She is one person who will watch your content and reach out, and she'll be like, I think based on what you're posting, if you do one or two three things, it will elevate the brand. She'll look for you and give you feedback. Mandi will not hold feedback back. And as someone who really values feedback, because I don't believe you can grow if someone is not giving you, criticism that is positive in a way that can impact your craft. And Mandi is very active when it comes to that. And I have seen her be very resilient with her work as well. So any hurdle she faces, she's able to go through that. And I love people who are able to depend on their friends, because you can't grow by yourself. You can't be resilient by yourself. You can't be self-sufficient. Well, technically, to some extent, yes, but also allowing the people around you who love you to come in and support you in one way or another. So if I'm to summarize all of that, I would say you're someone everyone should watch out for, and you're someone who everyone should feel lucky to be in their circle, for sure.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Get some tissues.
M&M. Okay, so I'm guessing I have to
please,
answer.
please.
Oh, wow. I'm going to start with the relaxed side. I feel like for me, Maureen is like my fun laughter friend. Like if we want to laugh out loud,
Yeah.
I'm definitely calling Maureen, because she's going to like mirror me, and I love that about her. But another thing that I really love about Maureen is she's very solution based. Like if you call her and you need some direction somewhere, she'll probably do something that my dad does, which is like, give me a moment, let me think about it, I'll get back to you. She is a terrible texter. Okay, because it gives that personality. She is a terrible texter, but she's very driven. She will elevate you. That's one thing I love about Maureen. Maureen put me on a body skincare routine, and I get the most compliments. So it really embodies like where she is with her brand, where she's going. And I love that she has a lot of foresight, which again, I think mirrors the both of us, but her foresight really shows in her brand, right? Shows in herself as well. And I love her character. So that's how I would describe you.
This is incredible, like to see two people who are so aligned, two people who are on the podcast and about share perspectives that we hopefully for our audience, you can bounce around and learn a lot more. The reason why we brought you to One Set was fundamentally to speak about creating an online business brand, or an online brand where you've been able to create a strong, solid business that now the both of you have each done this in particularly difficult economic times. And we're hoping that our audience can learn one or two things about business and online businesses from you guys and building brands. So the first question I have with that direction is, and I'll push this towards Mandi.
Okay.
Is with your work at Miss Mandi Throws Down, where did you start from in that journey, and where are you now? And what are some of the lessons that you would want to impart to our audience regarding that journey for now?
I was going for auditions. I'd studied communication, so I was trying to go for auditions. I would literally be told, oh, tone down your accent. You speak a little too fast. And I remember one day sitting on a balcony with a friend, and I said to them, I think I'm going to start YouTube, because I had been watching all these YouTubers like build something. So I was like, oh, I think I'm going to start YouTube. But the only way I was going to do that was to find a great videographer. So they're like, oh, you should meet this gentleman. He's a great videographer. So my house at the time looked really great. And I remember we sat down and we kind of like created a treatment. He had also gone to film school, which really helped. And then we kind of like set up like the play-by-play of how it was going to happen. Let me say this, timing is such a great thing in life. We started the channel at the right time where people were curious and hungry of like different kinds of content. And I really think my personality is what makes my food shine or my brand shine. And I love that. Like there was no one called Miss Mandi Throwdown. There was no one calling themselves Throwdown Queen. So everyone was like, who's this babe who's so full of herself, calling herself Throwdown Queen? So it set the tone of like people tuning in. We created it like a TV series, like you tune in every Friday. And throughout that, there was the continuous growth through collaboration. So I really started collaborating early on with like Mutuoma Theka, Tatiana Karanja. I looked at my peers as people that I would grow with, as opposed to looking at them as my competition. And we were all hungry at the same time. And then throughout that, I started to realize like things were changing. I'll never forget when the first brand that we ever worked with on my YouTube channel called me and they were like, we just made X amount of Kenya shillings, like a whole lot of money in the first week based on your coupon code. And I was like, oh my God, there's something here, right? And it just made me want to run with it. Now the paid partnerships came in, and then things kind of slowed down when COVID hit. Right? COVID, I think, was the greatest equalizer for everyone's brand, because you're just like, whoa, we're all stuck at home. How do you take your brand to the next level? And I think for me, that was a very difficult time, because I felt like I hadn't figured out other platforms like TikTok. I was very good at long form content, but now like short form content was like the major thing. I had not figured it out. But then that was at the same time too, I had just taken up like Centonomy as a business class. And I was learning about like, how does what you do solve problems? And this made me start to rethink how I'm like putting out my content. And I wrote out like all the things that I want to achieve. I remember when I said I wanted to quit my job, I wrote out every single thing that I wanted to achieve. And until now, there's only one thing in that board I have not achieved in my 5-year plan when COVID hit. And that really shifted a lot of things for me. It made me learn that I'm very, like what she said, resilient. It made me understand the importance of pivoting. It made me understand the importance of building something that you have foresight for. Like, you are realizing like this thing needs to solve these people's kinds of problems, and you need to build community around it. You cannot just be like, this is a piece of content that's not engaging enough, right? And as you're building, you're also like growing with these people. You're literally sending them DMs. If they come to you and they ask you, where can I buy this? You recommend, you tell them. So it made me nurture my community a lot more. And again, the uniqueness of myself, I think, really set me apart in the market. And it made me realize like I need to always consistently keep pivoting. And that's why you need to keep dreaming bigger and bigger and doing much more research, upskilling yourself. Because if you're consistently thinking that the content you created 5 years ago is what's going to like make you shine, well, baby, not in this game. I hope that answered your question.
Not even just 5 years, even 3 months ago.
3 months ago, yeah.
Because I was seeing on Instagram now they have changed. There's something like, it's like a reel, but it's like 6 seconds or something. I don't know what it's called, but every day something new comes. These trial reels, I knew about it like 2 weeks ago.
Would you describe, and this is your question, Maureen, describe Bandari Beauty as a brand and how it differentiates itself from all other beauty brands in Kenya right now? What is it that you guys do? What's the secret sauce in terms of how you differentiate yourself from everyone else?
I would say Bandari Beauty is a community business. A community in that everyone has skin, because we are a skincare business. And skincare matters are very, very personal. And how you take care of your skin could be different from how someone else takes care of their skin. And we as women, and considering Bandari Beauty caters to more women than men, but men, you're welcome, starting with the two of you. We go through so much, from hormonal changes and environmental factors. All these things affect our skin. And one of the things that you get to realize over time is the impact that has on someone's confidence and self-esteem is so high. And we wanted to create a business whereby you don't feel like you are alone. Yeah, it's not transactional. It's not a scenario where you want to come to the store and go straight to the shelf and pick whatever it is that you want. We wanted a scenario where you come, you have someone to talk to, someone who can understand what you're going through. And that someone can be anyone. It could be my skincare consultants who are professionals. It could be me. It could be estheticians. It could be a dermatologist. And depending on the level of your challenge, then we give you the right person to handhold you. And one of the things that I realized very early on is, as women, sometimes we just need somewhere to belong. Like, you don't want to feel like, oh my God, this acne keeps coming and disappearing, coming and going. Am I the only one going through this? And here we are telling you, imagine you're not the only one. Neither is it the end of the world. Yeah. So one of the things we do very often is do community building events where I personally want to know my customers. I want them to know me. I want them to know the brand. So every quarter we organize something fun, because I always believe as women, we are moms, we are wives, we are business owners, we are, corporate buddies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that is our identity. We have so many things that we like. We like, creating candles, arranging flowers. We want to be girls. So where else can you go and do some of these things in a way that you can feel like, oh, actually, we don't have to talk about skin all the time from morning to evening, but I have other women around me who have the same interest to glow. You know, Mandi was talking about me giving her body care routine. You want to go on holiday and everyone is asking you, what is that you have applied on your legs and whatnot? But at the same time, there's another woman somewhere else who wants the same thing. So how can these people come together? Something like skincare is bringing them together, but at the same time, they're having other things that they enjoy. So we started doing community building events around 2022 till date. So we just take few number of customers, around 30 people, and every quarter we curate something very unique, very nice, chilled out, like come and enjoy. Yes, we want your money. Yes, you want our products, but beyond there, how can we curate an environment where you can network with other like-minded people? You can get to know us as a brand and me now, like the owner of the business, because I'm no longer, on the floor talking to the customers on a daily basis. How then am I able to get to know you as a customer? So I would describe Bandari Beauty as a community-based business.
That is
That's literally
a ridiculously
on
good answer.
It's crazy because they've literally spoken to what I wanted to ask next, which is, and we said it off camera a little bit, the kind of time we're living at the moment within the country and the economy. Sometimes it can seem that consumer behavior is going to change drastically. So how have you managed to navigate maybe just the last year and adapt, and how important has your team been in doing that? Because I think if you think about food, you think about skincare, when you're prioritizing things, sometimes people think, okay, let me clutch my purse strings. How have you opened them in this kind of economy?
For me, being a community business, I think now that helps, because one of the things that we do even on my profile, we are in charge of everyone else's skin, both I and my clients and my followers. And one thing that you will find that happens very often is you'll find some clients sending us messages around, the economy is so tough, I can no longer afford a cleanser, my acne was almost getting to a point where I'm eradicating it, but I'm not able to afford the products anymore. And I share that and people are like, we can't allow this to happen. We literally fundraise on my page. We're like, you are getting the cleanser, you're getting the sunscreen, you're getting the treatment. So there's that happens. And then as a brand, we really, really value feedback. I know we live in a time zone where, it's very easy for someone to rush to TikTok, to Instagram, to YouTube, to X, and give the feedback publicly in a way that as a founder, you might not know how to navigate that. But one of the things that I've really loved about the kind of clientele we have curated for ourselves, they constantly send me feedback. And in return, I also constantly put out a form where they're able to give us feedback. So in most cases, we see a lot of feedback is coming in and people are really struggling to keep up with the trends. They're struggling to, be consistent with purchases. We then come up with packages that can fit their current, financial needs. If let's say you were buying goods worth 15,000 in the past, and now you can barely make it to 7,000, we then curate something that can still be able to have that same level of impact on your skin, but then at a cheaper, more affordable price. And in most cases, you can't really know that if the feedback is not coming through. So one of the things that I really, really love about Bandari Beauty is how we've managed to make it comfortable for them to be able to give us feedback. And once they give us the feedback, then we're able to immediately act on it. And in most cases, it revolves around finance. It revolves around, okay, I've been using this product for this long. I'm not seeing any changes. And I'm someone who's so data driven. So if I see
that is apparent.
And they say data is the currency now. So if I'm able to see, okay, the number of complaints all revolve around either this ingredient or this particular product, then I have to change it for them, because then it means we're not listening to what is happening in the industry. So
I have to follow up with that question, because with that statement, because the question that now comes into my head is flexibility of your product line. How do you maintain such a flexible product line where you're able to constantly shift your product catalog to match your customers' needs? Is it that, because I don't want to ask questions on distribution, I expect that to be a standard distribution agreement. This is how much you're buying, this is how much you're pushing out. So how have you managed to maintain such flexibility in your product catalog, given that it's an online business and tastes change from time to time?
So apart from getting feedback from the consumers, I would want to say that as a business, you still have to have your own goals. Otherwise, if something is trending on TikTok today, tomorrow and you are expecting me to stock it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anything that is ever trended on TikTok never lasts for like more than 5 months. So also you have to have like a speed governor of some sort, whereby okay, I have flexibility, but up to this level, because you constantly have to be very anchored in what are my goals, what do I want to achieve. And remember, we come now from a point where we are the professionals. We are the ones who have gone to school. We are the ones who have studied the skin, everything, and the conditions that come with that, and the ingredients that can be used to treat. And sometimes the consumer can come in from a point of, this is just trendy. But is it fit for the kind of challenges that you're experiencing? So for me, I would say I'm very, very flexible, but to a certain level, where I know now it's professionalism that is speaking. It's no longer trends and whatnot.
I think that's sorry, my finance hat has now come on.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing your ability to curate your community and to communicate with your community allows your stock to move faster.
Yes.
So your stock moves faster than most of the other beauty businesses.
Yes. And I remember there's a time, I think I was with a business coach or something, and we were trying to explore the run rate for products, like how long a product is staying on the shelf.
Yeah.
And they were very shocked that I don't have a lot of that. By December, now you're looking at what is short expiry and
What a
whatnot.
sweet
I'm
business.
like, what?
Yeah, your inventory turnover must be, because you know what your community wants, and your community tells you what they want, and you're stocking it.
Because considering it's a community business, so there's a lot of conversation. I'm telling you what is good for you, and you're giving me your problems, so we're able to actually...
You're proactively curating the catalog.
Yes.
That is such...
You know what's so interesting? We had Abel Matua on here, and his number one thing as well was he starts with community and then sells and conversion. It's nice to hear it's consistent in different industries as well. When I look at Mandi's career online, you've been one of the people that have had the longest relevance, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And so, touching on community, how have you managed to garner them for such a long period of time, convert and sustain that as a career and income?
Yeah, and before, just to add to that question, because this is an opportunity for me, Mandi, also to learn as you're seeing. Adding the spice product on top of that community, I want to know how you informed that decision, and how your community has been taking you through this product development journey, just the way
She has. I think for me, I'll have to start the journey from COVID. I know I've been there for the longest time, but COVID for me was the greatest equalizer for me. It forced everyone to be home, right? So everyone became a cook, right? But then I started to realize, as much as people are home and they're a cook, they're realizing, oh my God, making lasagna actually does take 3 hours. Like, how does this become shorter, right? And I reached out to the community when I started to cook just kuku kienyeji road runner chicken in 30 minutes with my instant pot pressure cooker, and everyone started to send me DMs like, wait a minute, you're trying to tell me I can cook African food in a shorter amount of time? And I was like, there's something here. I put up a post and I asked people, which kitchen appliance are you looking to upgrade now that we're all stuck at home? And people gave me all their feedback. And I just took that data and I was like, this is my gold mine to create my cookbook, my appliance cookbook. So it was so easy for me to build products for my audience because they were giving me the feedback. They wanted me to guide them on the best appliance to get. So what did I do? I took to YouTube. I curated that content. I told them what to look out for, how to use it, how to clean it. It was so intentional for me to teach them why they need these products. So now this lasagna that they wanted to make in 3 hours can be made in 1 hour. They're like sold. So they were like, okay, can you simplify all these things for us? Instead of me searching for the recipes online, can you give me a book? And I was like, yeah, let's give you a book. And we did a pre-order. Actually, all our cookbooks were sold on pre-order. It was based on the demand. And I had already done a previous ebook before when I had done a whole lifestyle transformation with like my health journey where people were like, you're trying to tell me I can hit my goals by eating healthy food that you bought from the kiosk. And you created a book with the recipes. So we already had that data. So we used that data. We used what they said for the appliance. We created this appliance cookbook. And now we were like, okay, these guys who have been teaching all this time, again, COVID, people start to do staycation. So they're like, how do you impress someone and cook for them somewhere at home? You're like, why don't you carry these spice blends? Instead of you carrying this spice, this spice, this spice, this spice, in one bottle, I've put everything for you. Now you can make 12 dishes with one spice. And they were just like, hold up, really? And when I saw that they were picking up like the brands I would recommend, I was like, why don't I just do my own? I already have their data. So what did we do again? We did a pre-order phase. I had already sold out. I'd already made back the money by the time we were like going to market, because people were like, oh my God, we need these products. And we do not start with big SKUs. We only started with like the appliance cookbook. Then we went to just 2 spices. And now the demand has made us reach to 9 spices. And we have a wet marinade. Again, notice I didn't say marinades, wet marinade, because we want to see what's going to be the response. We tweak it, and then now we grow from there. So the community also has grown so much to the point where they trust my flavor journey. They are seeing me travel to other countries and interact with other people to the point where they tell me, I'd love to travel with you to eat food. I'd want to see where you could take me to just enjoy and explore food, because you seem to like really glide through this. So I am like their flavor expert. I hold their hand and they always trust me. So that building that community has been one of the most fulfilling things for me, because I continuously see their problems in the kitchen and I'm always trying to like simplify it. Appliance cookbook, spices. Or now we do the fusion, Swahili fusion, because they want to try bear, which is from like Ethiopia. But how do you make it in like a way that is in a Kenyan context that they could get it? So that's what we do.
Just to add on what Mandi is saying, especially with her building a community, she's the first person that ever told me, on your business page, you can have clients on close friends.
Yes.
And she does that. So she'll put anyone who is interested in close friends. So you get even more intimate content around your business that other people are not getting. So by the time she's creating FOMO for pre-orders, literally it's the people in the close friends, because they can see the behind the scenes. They can see all of these things. So and then she comes now on her real stories and she'll just say something like, those who are on close friends, they already know. So you start wondering, what?
Yes.
Before you know it, you're sending a request to be in close friends. And then she's showing you all these things. By the time she wants to release a book, you're like, oh, we sold out within the close friends. So that was such a good thing, which I'm currently doing with Bandari Beauty as well. We have our close friends. When with the launch, we had to tell a few people who are in the close friends. We are having a launch coming up. We are moving to this.
You know, the sweet thing, like I'm saying, like I'm looking at it like from a business perspective. Like you guys are masters at cash conversion cycles, basically. I don't know if you know this, but one of the reasons why Apple is such a big company is because they make most of their money on pre-orders as well, right? So they have something called a negative cash conversion cycle, which means that by the time the inventory is hitting, is hitting like on the balance sheet, you've already sold it, you've already converted it to cash. So like your business you're always running super efficiently, and it's on the back of this community development. Outside of this community management skill that you guys have, could you speak to me about how exactly it is, right, that you finance your operations? Like, how do you finance, given the fact that these are not these SKUs, like you said, and that's, thank you for saying that on Mantalk. For using that word SKU.
Oh, really?
It makes me so happy inside. Like, you know, a lot of people would be watching this and asking, why else can you asking women about this? Because they're a men's podcast, but like, just the business savvy around both of your brands has been something that has been a marvel for us. So please help me understand, how do you finance your operations, given the fact that, okay, you have this demand that you've established, you have this community that you've established. How do you ensure that you have enough cash runway to fulfill the needs of your customers?
I'll let her go first.
I would say someone of my nature, in my kind, that's one of our biggest challenge. If I'm to point out one of the challenges I encounter as I'm running Bandari Beauty, that would be it. Because I own 100% of my business, meaning I'm the one who has to figure out how to finance the business. And in the early stages, I remember reaching out to my family and friends. So no money was more money. Someone else would give me 200K, another one would give me 500K, another one would give me $1 million here and there. But now, when you create the demand, then the amount of money you need to scale also goes up. I cannot call my mom and be like, I need 15 million. She'll be like, oh my God, who has bewitched you in Nairobi? What? Are you crazy? Are you on drugs? So over time, I would say for me, it then became the financial institutions. I'm someone who relies on the relationships in the financial sector to do that. But then still, the level to which I have scaled the business for sure does need a lot in terms of, in terms of finance to scale it. So what I try and do, because I know sometimes we do have these talk out challenges here and there. If let's say you come and you have this marketing thing that is blowing up, going viral, and you imagine, oh, this 1,000 units can service this activity that we're doing, only for it to take a life of its own, and now you're here negotiating with clients. Oh, guys, just relax. I'm gonna order again and whatnot. So I wouldn't say we don't have a challenge in that, but what I've tried to do in my level best is constantly having financial meetings on a weekly basis. I'm on those, I'm on those meetings like a hawk, because at the end of the day, any small money that is generated in the business needs to go to the right place. You have to look at your stock levels. What is moving? I'm constantly analyzing what is the product that is giving us the best margin, so that we can invest more in that particular product and not the one that is moving a little bit slow. Because if you don't do that, then you will just be buying things randomly, and then now here you are struggling, wondering, why did I put my cash in a product that has a longer
turnaround time?
So for us, it becomes more of now leveraging on our skill, on our brains, on hiring sometimes even experts like business coaches. Come sit, let's look at an inventory. How can we classify this inventory into class A products, B, C, which ones are moving fast, which ones are solving the problems, and still selling out faster than a class C product, for example, so that the little that you have, you're able to use it well. Because I always believe I don't want to raise funds when I'm desperate. I want to raise funds when I'm okay. I'm able to say no. Because I know when you're dealing now with VCs and all these venture capitalist people, they look for stuff like that where they can be like, okay, this one is desperate. We can push here. Not desperate in that way, but you can see an opportunity. And I feel like when you have conversations around raising money, the other person who is giving money needs to find the right partner, and you who's looking for money, you have to also find the right partner. So I don't want to get to a point where I'm saying yes to anybody because I'm desperate to scale to a certain level. So at the moment, we are really into analyzing our inventory and putting the little that we have into, what can move fast.
Well, for me, I would say I went the grant route, and I have to say applying for YouTube Black definitely changed my life. It came with like a huge token, which in result, I was just like, I took a step back and I was like, how do I make this revenue work for me and really build product that will outlast and bring in revenue consistently? So I used that. I've also taken a loan as well. But for the most part, like my business is very, I want to say, small scale. Like our turnover is quite high. And now I'm dealing with like stocking problems, which I'm trying to navigate. But the YouTube Black finance, like, and then the fact that they took us through how to like scale with that kind of money really changed my life. And I also think one of the classes we took at different times, the GIZ class, really showed us
an accelerator program.
Yeah, an accelerator program really showed us how to use money, like borrow money from friends and then like put it back into your business and keep growing and growing with it. So that's what I've done.
I think, you both, like what you've both described is working capital needs.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Basically, you guys are in a space where your inventory, you need to finance your inventory. That inventory's cash conversion cycle is relatively short. So if I put money in inventory, it turns into cash relatively quickly. There's facilities for that. We can share off camera. But then...
Then also, as she has just reminded me with the accelerator programs, I remember when we went to that class, immediately on day one of that class, the coach was asking us, what are your challenges? And all of us put up our hands, we were like, money. And the coach was like, when they analyze a lot of entrepreneurs, you come in thinking money is the problem. But ideally, you have things like systems. You don't have systems.
Yeah.
You don't have structure.
Yeah.
And even if I give you the money and you lack all of these things,
It's pouring water in a bucket.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
with holes. Yeah.
immediately it starts making you think outside the box.
Yeah.
And I've just remembered one of the other things that I had to think out of the box is, yes, I don't have the finance to scale to the levels that I want, but how can I leverage things like relationship building with suppliers, for example,
Exactly.
Yes.
to enhance my credit limits
Yeah,
from
you've been
30 days to 60 days.
Yeah, you've been,
There's
I'm telling
somewhere-
you, you're living in working capital.
Yeah, there's someone else who's like,
Yeah.
okay, now we are in the 90 days.
Yeah,
talking
you're making
stage.
sure
So-
like, okay, my payables, I used to pay in 45 days. How do I
Exactly.
pay 90? Okay, I've been
Yeah.
a good customer.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been buying from you all the time.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
like, they're not giving you money directly, but it's giving you
They're
breathing
giving you
space
space, yeah.
to
It's-
continue scaling.
Do you think that there's a female founder challenge in terms of raising capital? Because I've been seeing online that female founders are much less likely to get funding. Is it a question of the funding is not available, or is it a question of female founders can also be prudent? Like, for example, the things that you're doing right now,
Yeah.
whereas a lot of, let's say, maybe male founders would be more aggressive, and then they're already applying for like 20, 50 grants.
Yeah.
They're like pushing the business in a particular
Yeah.
direction such they
Yeah.
can finance the operations.
Yeah.
Whereas you've gone for prudence and sustainability. That's like your instinct right now,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like, yeah, I can sell equity
Yeah.
because yes,
Yeah.
we're pushing
Yeah, yeah.
revenue.
Yeah.
But then why not just, why not just like focus on making my working capital mechanics work for me?
Yes.
Because I already have a community that's willing to buy, and that money is
Yes.
basically there's a way I can get to it.
Yeah.
Is it an instinct where you're seeing there's less participation from funds in Kenya with people in your industries, in lifestyle businesses, and being female founders? Maybe that's a challenge where most of the funding goes to, I'd say,
You can just say it because I have an opinion.
yeah, like I think a lot of the funding goes towards development
Yeah.
agendas,
Yeah.
and then also a lot of the funding also typically doesn't go to a lot of female founders like yourselves who are working in middle market Kenya and creating value in that sense.
If I'm to go with my experience and that of my peers that I've seen, and especially also, let's also take it back to financial institutions. You find banks like Absa, EcoBank, I can't remember the others, but they do have I&M. You'll find they have a certain, like female founded businesses, they can get funding without any collateral and whatever, up to a certain level. Because to some extent, we grew up with things like chamas and stuff like that, where we know you can borrow a little amount and return it. So we have this tendency to just return money because we know the moment we return the money, we can take a little bit more. So you'll find we all have like lifestyle businesses like these, and we're able to reach out to financial institutions. But when you think about raising funds, like the serious money, you'd find majority of even the investors really want things like agriculture. They want things like fintech, where if you look at the ratio of male to female, they tend to be more male in that particular field than there are women. And when it comes to retail business like our own, you'll find we are more probably than the men themselves as well. So I think it's just the ecosystem the way it is. And that's why I'm one of those people who is always championing tell your stories, because sometimes someone doesn't know that the kind of business that you're doing, I can actually come and add value in a way that it can fit those things that they're looking for when it comes to where they want to put their money in.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic response.
I know, I can't even top up that. Like, she's spot on, especially as someone who's in the food sector. I've had to like start rethinking for myself, like, how do I draw in sustainability, agriculture angle, because that's the only way now I can be able to raise much more capital. So she's already covered that.
Yes. The interesting thing I've found is that there's a certain time in your business where you have to sort of let go a bit and let more noise come in to sort of get the advice.
Yeah.
But I feel like before you get to that stage, you need to be loud enough and have a reputation so that people can take you seriously and want to invest and scale, right?
Yeah.
But there might be people watching that maybe aren't at the level of scale, franchising, etc. So I want to find out, before you got to that stage where other people were looking in, what, because it looks like a sprint at the moment when we're talking about your business, but I feel like business is not a sprint. There's always hurdles. Yeah. So I want to dial back from before we got to the bit where you're really going. What were some of the key mistakes that really made you say, you mentioned pivoting earlier, that really made you say, okay, I need to adjust this for my business, that you've seen a direct correlation to now the success you're seeing? What were the biggest challenges you found? at that stage?
Oh, okay. For me, the biggest challenge that I've consistently found was like, again, COVID, everyone became a food content creator.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh my God, like, I thought I had a space here. I don't have a space anymore because Eli made a sandwich and now he's a like literally it was
Saturated.
one of the most toughest things. I remember having to sit down with myself and starting to rethink and be like, what's my unique selling point? And how do I build up on that? And I think I took a lot of inspiration from Tabitha Brown because Tabitha Brown was this woman who's in like close to 40 at the time, but she was able to create her own unique voice, right? So it was just a matter of like restructuring how your voice is, find your why, and then like build back on that, right? Not to say that you're not great, you just need to find your why and go back to that unique selling point and then go forward with that. So that time made me really rethink the kind of content I want to give. You know what I mean? How do I want them to consume it? What value is it adding to those people? But you have to actually hit that roadblock to be able to understand what your why is. Because in the beginning, it was just like, oh my God, we're doing this thing. Brands are calling. Oh my God, it's fun. But now it's like, is it really fun? And now that everyone's a food content creator?
How much of that was Mandi and how much was that to do with advice from people in your sector already?
Oh, wow. Okay, I have a rule. Date partners who add value into your life. Interesting. I dated a man who added so much value to my life. Like the perspective he shared with me. I remember that day when I said to him that I was quitting my job. I'd already started to take Centonomy, right? But now he I loved how he said it. He was like, okay, let's have a good night. Let's party. You're quitting your job. The next morning we woke up. He brought out a whiteboard. He brought out a marker. And he was like, blah, blah, all those things that you said you wanted to do, let's write them down. Wow. And I think that it was so important for me to experience that. I love that even people say, maybe you dated him for him to be able to have shifted your mindset because it literally made me start to see food from a whole different perspective. I didn't just look at recipes. He was one who said, maybe we can explore restaurant consultancy. We can explore how brand partnerships, you can come in as their consultant too because you're already doing that. Yeah. You can also build up on like rubs. Don't just like think of aprons because all we had started was with an apron. We really expanded what the things that we could do with food. And then now when I took the accelerator class, I remember one of the coaches there, she just kept asking like, what this book that you keep saying that you're doing, what problem will it solve? How will someone consistently look to you as an expert leader? And I think you need to be around people who are questioning your continuous growth because it makes you rethink how you even want to answer those questions. Are you even thinking enough? I mean, my YouTube, what I watch these days is completely different from what I used to watch before, right? Because everyone is going to come in and be like, talking about like upskilling, scaling, revenue, 10x, all these things. And you can't just be there aloof.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Exactly. So you actually have to like keep sharpening your business acumen. So for me, COVID really changed things for me. Yeah.
I like how she is referencing COVID because it did the opposite for me.
Oh, wow.
Because I know she has mentioned so many times that COVID was the equalizer, which is true for some business. But my business, to be honest, it really grew during COVID. And it grew based on the challenges she has just talked about, whereby everyone is at home. Now you're at home, but work has to continue. So you're on Zoom calls. Maybe you normally look well put together when you're going to work, you're wearing your makeup. So you're not able to, confront the things you don't like about your skin because, you have makeup to cover it up. Now it's COVID, you still need to be on video call on Zoom. And then you notice, wait. I have droopy eyes. I have dark circles. Wait, why do I have dark spots on my cheeks? So that made our business grow like 3 times.
Wow.
During COVID.
I'm in shock.
Because now people are just like...
People care about how they look on a Zoom call.
Yes.
It makes sense though. You don't think about it until you experience it, right?
Yeah, because now your colleague don't know you that way.
Yeah.
They know the well put together version of you. They know your family members who know you with your bonnet, with your... and then you can come to the Zoom call like that. So initially we were actually doing both makeup and skincare. It's during COVID that I made the decision to transition to skincare. Because nobody was asking for a red lipstick.
Right. Okay.
But they are asking for a night serum because they feel like in the morning when they're going for their Zoom call, they will look tired and they don't want to look tired.
Yeah.
Then they don't want to look tired. So for me, COVID did the opposite, but with the same reasons. That people are in the house. Now they're coming into...
Now the retinol sales are in the skies.
Yes.
It's such a
that.
practical example of data and community literally playing a role.
And then now you now start, taking note of what kind of questions and products are they asking for. Now they're moving from, give me the Fenty foundation to, do you have the Fenty skin serum?
What's the noise about Fenty? Why is it that Fenty bana? Every boyfriend in Nairobi is being made to buy Fenty. Even me, at some point, Fenty has had my money. Fenty has tasted my money. So why Vaseline? You know me, I'm a not to endorse brands, but me, I'm a Vaseline one-stroke guy. In the morning I just
I've seen it. Yeah.
But Vaseline is a good brand as well. But I think as brand ambassador. But I think one of the things that Rihanna did well is what we are just talking about, building community. And she was very, very in touch with, her struggles. She's lighter skinned, but she was talking about the struggles of African American women. They come in all shades and forms, and you go to places like Sephora and you find a brand has like 5 shades. And she came into the scene with, I don't know how many those were, like 40 something shades. Yeah. So at any given time, you could get something for yourself, which was not the norm.
Yeah. So inclusion it seems to be this superpower in both of your industries. Yes. In cooking. Because your cookbook, I didn't tell you, but that's what's giving me educational tips on how to use an air fryer.
Oh,
hey, that machine, it's a contraption. We're working with it. It seems to me that inclusion is a growth driver. And during COVID, including people who are affected by the unique aspects of COVID is something that happened. Even for Mantalk, I think Elena experienced the blow up between 2020 and 2021 because everybody was at home listening to podcasts. And they're like, oh my God, what are these two annoying young men who are asking questions they shouldn't be asking?
But one thing that we shouldn't then discount is we didn't grow or change our mindset or pivot because people were at home. Them being at home was one thing, but then your skill sets also come into play. Because then now once you're able to realize, actually people are at home, how can we create content that they enjoy?
Yes.
Otherwise you can easily just chuck content, people are at home. They're at home, but they're watching other podcasts. So it shouldn't, them being at home shouldn't discount our efforts.
I think to add on to that, it's building stuff that has human connection, right? The inclusion part that you're talking about. The human connection is very, very important because also you coming online and sharing some of your struggles, right? Like, oh my God, I tried to make this thing with the Instant Pot, it didn't work. But then now I found the way around it, makes you relatable. And you need that. Like people need to know that you're also failing, but you're failing forward, not just failing.
So Maureen, I don't want us to skip over one of your most pivotal hurdles because like we said, it can look like a sprint going very fast, but what was the biggest hurdle that in your business made you stop, think, you change, and you're seeing a direct result of that adaptation now in your business where you are?
So for me, I wouldn't necessarily look at them as hurdles because when I think about my journey, I wouldn't say there was this big hurdle that I had to overcome. But for someone who is in a journey through entrepreneurship, what I would say worked for me in a way that people looking in can imagine that I was printing was listening to your customer needs. If you look at the milestones that I've gotten for my business, they were all led by me listening to my clients. And in a way that I don't sit somewhere with a business coach and we come up with this grandiose plan on what we need to do. It's constantly having my ears on the ground. Sometimes I actually go to work and I can see customers on the floor and they're being consulted, and immediately they are done, we'll have conversations. So what is it that Bandari Beauty is not doing for you, which you feel needs to be done? So number one, we did curate the first of its kind, a dermatological model where a dermatologist could practice in store, in a beauty store. That was never done at all. A dermatologist will probably have their own practice or in a clinic somewhere or in a hospital somewhere. But I noticed that most women were not looking at skincare challenges as diseases or infections that they need to go to Kenyatta for. So when you analyze, you realize they are more comfortable coming to a beauty store or a pharmacy. So I was just like, okay, we need to bridge this particular gap because you're coming to me as an simple esthetician, and at that time I'd not even gone back to school, but I already had
an understanding of
what that looks like, and I come from the pharmaceutical world where I know there's something that can be acute, there's something that can be moderate, there's something that can be very severe. So if it's moderate to severe, that's not something that I should be treating. It should be treated by a professional. But the professional is in the hospital, and the client has come to me but doesn't want to go to the hospital. So what do? Let me go talk to a professional. Can you come and practice in a beauty store? Which was very challenging because, now you're dealing with doctors who have gone to school, they have studied medicine, and now you're coming to suggest, I come and practice from a beauty store. Are you okay? I should be somewhere.
But what is the billable? What does that look like on your OPEX, on your operational costs? Bringing in a dermatologist.
Well, the good thing is you're not bringing this person in as a full-time dermatologist. They're continuing with their work in the hospitals, then they come and consult in the beauty store.
On specific days.
Yes, on specific days.
Smart.
So right now we even have them, we have 2 of them on Thursdays and Saturdays, and the customer is able to pay the consultation fee. So technically, the cost is on the customer. But now when I did something like that, because now I was serving a need, and then you see now the business growing because all those people who didn't want to go to the hospital and are more comfortable in a beauty store setup.
They're increasing footfall in the store.
Yes. And then you realize, okay, the business is now growing. So what is the next challenge? So I've realized for me, the hurdle is in finding what is it that I haven't done for the customer, but the customer needs it. Okay. And when you concentrate on that, you now start realizing your business keeps growing slowly. Okay, for me, I look at it at a normal, steady growth, but I know other people looking in, they're like, you're just sprinting. And then now someone else who is starting out can imagine, oh my God, how can I sprint? But I didn't sprint by looking at other people, sitting down and wondering, okay, I have this hurdle, how can I, overcome it? It was constantly listening to their needs. And I feel like it doesn't matter the kind of business you're in, the moment you're listening, not looking at you have to kind of look at what competition is doing, but not focusing a lot on that. It's just constantly listening. And the moment, I always give myself 6 months, by the way.
Okay.
The moment I create something which I've seen it has an impact in the business, I already know I've solved that issue, but they still have something else. What is it?
Yeah.
So within 6 months, I need to find something else that I need to solve. So, and I've come to track my records, and actually it came to that 6 to 8 months. I normally have something new that I've introduced. So you realize you are solving that by talking to your customers, finding what is it that I haven't solved for you. So the hurdle is in that thing that the customer needs.
That's, they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? So you're constantly innovating against your customers' needs, which is very, again, you're moving like Jeff Bezos. Like Jeff Bezos says, his biggest key to success has been being obsessed about the customer. So like that's exactly what you replicated. Mandi.
Yes.
Tell us about that transformation point.
Which transformational point?
That transformation point for you, where what was that insight you learned about MMTD that allowed you to like get to the level where you are today, where I think you'll be selling us a lot of spices for a very long time.
Yes.
And a lot of food and a lot of like, I'd say, culinary products. Like what is the insight that you learned about your community that allowed you to sit down and say, you know what, if I keep doing this consistently, I'll take this to the absolute next level?
I think I did mention it earlier, like consistently understanding like, okay, because it's simple for me, it means it's difficult for someone else. So how do I take what I've simplified and give it to them, right? Again, I keep using COVID because it's a great equalizer. A mother has 3 kids, is on Zoom, has to cook a meal, has to like make it flavorful. So you simplify those steps, right? You tell them to get an air fryer, you tell them to get a spice blend. They've already shortened that time, their cook time, so they're spending much more time with their family, right? My thing though, that I feel like where I am in like transformation right now has been when I started to really focus on doing this, building restaurants, I remember scouring the internet and asking myself, how come I'm not seeing other African women tell this story? How come they're not showing me how they started to how they finished it, right? And I felt like that was a great missing point, that even the content creators who are following you or watching you, we kind of hit this ceiling because we're always giving out recipe after recipe after recipe. But now here I am with recipes, products, but what is more? And I was asking myself, what does that more need to look like? And how do I document it and tell it to people so that they can see that you don't need to only transform people's meals at home, but you need to transform how they also eat outside. It was very, I'm not going to lie to you. There was a time I was telling Maureen, oh no, I'd rather keep it under wraps, you know. Chini
I'm like,
amaji.
what?
She's
People
like,
need to know.
She's like, what do you mean? Like, you're building restaurants? You need to tell people these things because if other people are not going to see it, how then will you be able to now come forward and say, I pivoted like this?
Yeah.
It sounds fake.
Yeah.
It sounds delusional.
Yeah.
When it should be like an organic thing. You're in food, and food is very progressive. It's not just, again, recipes. So that for me, ever since I shared my story, I actually before I went to Lusaka, and I said to people, let me show you guys how long I've been doing this behind the scenes to where it is now. Oh my God. People were like, wait, you did that with Big Square? You did that with Ando's Kitchen? You've done that with a cafe in Tattoo City? How are you doing it? That for me has been very transformational because again, I just keep seeing food content creators give me recipe after recipe after recipe. But there's so much range, and I want to consistently show range to food that is bringing in revenue.
Could you speak a little bit more about kind of your role in those restaurants? I think there's an assumption that people watching at home might be very familiar with your content. But what I'd like you to touch on a little bit more is like this journey of being a culinary director. What does it entail? How do you make restaurants unlock that value? And what's the process like?
Wow. I have never answered that, but how do I do it is I take a step back. So I usually build products based on like the user and data. I go to places, I obsess on who that customer is, what are they eating, what are they Googling and finding, and then you create the unique like proposition for the company. But the thing is this.
So wait, just a sec. Sorry to interrupt. Like Oscar's Kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So if Oscar wants to start maybe a restaurant in Kiambu Road, where we are now.
Okay.
So what do we start? What does Mandi do for me?
Wait, this is Kiambu Road.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know. I have to go obsess and see what the customer is currently eating
Let's
at the
go.
moment,
In
right?
Kiambu Road.
Yes, in Kiambu Road. And then you start questioning, how do you elevate that still in the same realm, but it's going to want to make them want to, come visit your restaurant. So now you also build it according to aesthetics, right? Like, and also building on curiosity. Because a lot of times you actually have to be traveling and expanding your mind to be able to give somebody something new. You cannot be seated in your house thinking, just because I watched a YouTube video, you can be able to give that. No, it needs a user experience. So everything is built on the user experience, and then it's also built on processes. So by the time the meal is arriving on your table, how many steps did it take for me to peel potatoes, put them in the fryer, get them to the pass and to you? So even when you're building restaurants, it's very methodical. And then when you're building it like that, you're also looking at the margins. Like if I was to use a potato, how many ways can I use this potato and how much margins is it going to bring me? You're not just blurting out and saying, let's just put loaded fries.
Saute is different from mash.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm with you.
Yeah.
With mash, maybe you may use 10 potatoes.
Yes.
With fries, you use 3.
3 potatoes. So again, everything is methodical and has a process. And then finally, you're again thinking of what the user's palate is all about, right? Like if you're on Kiambu Road, you're not going to essentially give them the same thing like, let's say, on Riverside Drive, right? Because someone going to Riverside Drive already understands, hey, apa kuna bay, apa kuna vibes. Here, you could be like, oh my God, we can take this bowl of tumbukiza, but we can elevate it with like, let's say, lemongrass and this and that. So you're using already locally sourced ingredients, but you're just elevating that.
Nyama choma with thyme.
Yes.
We're there.
Oscar's
restaurant.
And I think I love where Africa is right now. Like African gastronomy is really exploding. Like people are very curious right now. They're like, they've seen something on TikTok. Again, she's talked about that. It could be a trend, right? But how do you make it like different and stand out let's use my matumbo hot dog for example.
Come on, guys.
No one has
I've never seen that.
Thank you.
no one had thought of that, but I spend a lot of time consistently looking at ingredients and
I was
saying,
very suspicious. I'll say, you know, when you posted it,
yeah,
I was like, this chick is, what's she smoking?
yeah,
Because like I saw the matumbo, I was like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Wake up, ugali, please.
yeah.
like-
But that's because I'm already a curious cook, right? So I know where the people are right now. They want to see how things are put together and explore that for them. And it's happening across Africa. People, and then also Pan-Africanism is becoming big. You're now seeing the more jolloфs, right? Afrobeats did that for us.
Yeah.
When it exploded, a lot more people became like, oh my God, now I know a song from Senegal. Now I know a song from Congo. But what's the food in Congo? How do you fuse Congolese food and Kenyan food? So that's how I build product or
That's
restaurants.
insane. You see, Mandi, this is why we can't just call you food influencer.
Exactly. And I kept telling her, you have transitioned
Yeah,
so
you're
much.
not,
There's someone who knows you from way back and thinks you're a food content creator.
Yeah.
But you're
here doing
like you are still in the food business,
Yeah.
but doing completely.
I have to shout out someone whose like content I've been following on food, which is Roaming Chef. He recently did like, I saw like breadcrumbs on ugali bun.
Oh my God, I saw that.
Like, you know,
The one I saw was the ugali sushi or something.
yeah,
I'm
this
so
guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think, dude, he's my next target. If he's watching this,
He better.
Please.
Roaming
Please.
Chef, you're my next target. I'll put, the team will be in touch. Because like the stuff that like food content is doing to Kenya and even the world, there's a lot of perspective. Like I actually shared like a recipe and put it, I think it was one of yours where you'd fused, what was it? You'd fused, I can't remember it right now. Like you'd fuse something West African with, I don't know. Anyway, I'll remember it. Like there was some Afrofusion content that you'd put up. And when I posted it, my friends from Mauritania looked at it and they're like, yeah, we eat that all the time. And the thing that really, really surprised me was like how Africans are, like you said, they're very curious as to, okay, how exactly, like this is a way of culture participating
Yes.
together. Like there's a Pan-Africanism towards food and food content that can really bring us together and even we can connect, can eradicate some foolish traits that Kenya has had. Tribalism. It's hard to be tribalist. You have to be tribalist when you like matumbo hot dog. So like I really encourage like the work that you're doing.
Also, just to like tie it to what Maureen said, again, skin, right? And food, they're very prominent things. You know, when someone walks in, you're like, oh, your skin is glowing. Oh, you know, I can recommend something for you for your skin, you know? Or even food. Oh my God, you should try the matumbo like this. You get like, they're very easy conversational starters. It's now for you as the expert leader to know how to build on them and then expound them.
Yeah, it's a lovely.
I'm really curious, right? Number one, I've just thought, have you guys ever thought about merging the two?
Like Bandari
the food
beauty community
because that's
Mandi
inside and outside. Or is that not?
Okay, no,
well,
it's true. And what I wanted to add on to his question that Mandi was answering is, as a business, you can't also be in your own cocoon without understanding what is happening, you know, around you. Like I know for Bandari Beauty, there's, tech is coming. So how can we be in that space? There's wellness coming. How can we be in that space? And I'm glad you've asked that, because our biggest conversations nowadays is how Mandi can curate things for us. Because when you look at something like Luna Spa, which is one of the other business that we have, that is a sister business to Bandari Beauty, skincare or skin in itself, there's a lot of things that affect it. It could be your sleep patterns. It could be, how you work out. It could be what you're eating. All of these things affect the skin. So as a business, then you start wondering, okay, how can I expand my horizon to tap into those particular markets? And we've been working on something with Mandi for the spa, because with the spa also goes with wellness. So how can we serve people drinks that they enjoy, some biting that they enjoy, but the healthier versions? Where now I reached out to Mandi, I'm like, you better make this thing come with vibes and inshallah, but still very, very, enjoyable to eat. So the the collaborations will always be there.
It's definitely coming, and you're gonna see how it's going to switch up things, because we already we've been doing homework. Like, this is not happening in spas. For me, what's exciting is growing the B2B of the business, right? Because at the moment there's a lot of B2C. For those who may not know, business to customer, B2B, business to business. So increasing that revenue for me really is exciting, because I'm just like, wow, there's been this gap in the spa market, and now we can take over with it.
And you know, in as much as the spa business ideally is in the wellness industry, there's this thing I joke around in the office where I say, if you're not a healthy habit kind of person, even if you come to my spa and I give you like chamomile tea, it's not going to take away all your sins and all your fat and all your, you know, it's not gonna, that one cup is not gonna make you sleep better. So why don't I just create an experience for you, and then you go figure out your own stuff at home? Because at the end of the day, I know in the spa wellness industry and all of that, you will go, yes, you will have your chamomile tea and your what. But maybe my customer just wants champagne. What do I do? I will give you champagne.
What do you do?
Maybe you've gone through a horrific time at work and you just want to come for, you know, a facial, and you sit at the, you know, at somewhere and sip on something
crispy.
I mean, who am I?
Who are you?
Whomst am I? I'll call Mandi. I'm like, please make for me something very nice, very crispy. It could have been deep fried for all I know, but the customer enjoys it, and then they'll go home and go to the gym, which is someone else's business. But when you came to mine, you really felt well taken care of.
You're always learning, man. Always learning, I've noticed. And there's such a humility to absorb and pivot based on other people. There's not an arrogance of I know how to go. That's what I'm really admiring.
If there's one thing, I don't know anything. If you follow my entrepreneurship journey, I'm constantly hiring experts to come and train. I know nothing. They always say hire people who are way brighter than you.
100%. So we can all build, well, we can't all build businesses, but building a business, there's one core factor, and we've talked about the technicals, the business side, but behind every business in a team is the human, right? So I want to just, to the tail end of this, talk about you as humans and how you've managed to have a certain mindset to achieve what you're doing. So I want to find out, what are some of the general principles as a human outside of business and numbers that you've managed to maintain that keeps you on that straight and narrow path when you're building these businesses and maintaining them?
For me, I listen to my gut feeling a lot. Even in interviews. So, for example, even when we are doing interviews, we'll put out a post, people will apply. We have a committee that shortlists, and then they do their virtual interviews. And then I come in at the tail end of choosing amongst 5. And most times I will curate my panel in a way that if I'm hiring an accountant, for example, I get people who are not even working in Bandari Beauty, but it's someone who is very good with finance, come and sit on that panel. Someone else who's so good at something. So when the accountant is like to me, oh, you know, I've done CPK, I don't know what things that I don't know. I'm just like, I have experts to, you know, to see how that looks like. But my work then in that panel just is gut feeling. Even if they tell me this is the person, when we were interviewing this person, what was I feeling? Is this someone that I was feeling like I can feel a connection? I can see how you can connect with the other people. So if my gut is just like, no, it's almost impossible for me to do business. And even if it comes to people like suppliers, other people I want to employ, other people I want to collaborate with. For me, what has been guiding me, in as much as, yes, I can use my skills, I can use my brain, I can use all of these things. But if I walk into a meeting and I'm just not feeling so good about it, that's not going to progress. And I can't even explain to you the reason why it's not progressing. I just didn't feel the connection. And I feel so far, my gut feeling has just let me down like just once or twice. But for the bulk of the decisions I've made, the connections I've made, how I've scaled the business from my human perspective, it's definitely been built on my gut feeling.
That intuition is so wise, because I was listening to a business podcast and I was saying that when they were talking to founders that were over 45, 50, a lot of them say like, that's my number one thing. But all of the younger founders like, no, there needs to be data, numbers, etc. But because they've done business for so long, they're like, I've seen this game before. And so for you to be trusting your gut at this stage is really incredible.
And the thing that I like about the team that I've built, I told them I don't want yes men and yes women, in a way that they have a right to also question. Even if I come and tell them, my gut is telling me we should move this way. If they don't see the dream, they have a right to question, and I usually don't take it, so personal or whatever. But they also know if the conviction is so tight, it doesn't matter what your feedback is at that point. I'd rather regret later. But most times I will sit, okay, tell me yes, they know why, and I will consider it to some extent. And I have had good gut feeling, and they advised me against it, and I let it go. But when you can't shake it, I'm sorry. I'll now tell you, okay, now thank you. I've had you as my managers, but now making an executive decision.
Well, for me, I will say, again, earlier on, I did mention that Maureen is a mirror of me to some extent. So the gut feeling is there as well. But I think one thing that I love about myself is like intentionality, like being intentional about building, even just human connection with my customers has been like such a great guiding light because it's a reflection of where I am. I am also a huge empath. I have like really core values, and I also anchor myself. Like in Kiswahili, we say ni vizuri kujijua. You know what I mean? So that you're not swayed by like hearing this opinion. Again, going back to the gut feeling, but being intentional has changed how I've like grown in my life. And I it's really spilled over into my business so much to the point where I love that even a customer said the other day, if there's anything I've taken away from you, Mandi, even that piece of content you're giving us, you had already thought about me. Like nothing just like shows up in your life when I'm there. It's thought through, it's well curated so that I not only have a good experience, even the person receiving it has such a great experience. So and then I thrive off feedback, because if I don't get feedback, and I think Andre 3000 says it best, like if you don't move your feet, I don't get a check, right? So if I don't get feedback, I'm usually like, okay, how do we move forward? How do I tailor make this thing to work for you? So that's also big for me as a guiding light.
I have a question as we move towards closing. Obviously, we are two very, middle-aged. We're now entering middle age.
We're there, brother.
We're also already there.
We're already there.
We're being called uncle. You are seeing that. We're off camera. We're being made to. We're being made to stand up, hide your stomach a bit.
Sorry, just to cut you short. There's a time I was in a panel, and this Gen Z guy, who's very popular though, was giving like a talk about something, and he was like, this older generation that should be on Facebook. But then the host was like, wait, who is older? Oh, yeah, above 30s. I sat there, I was
I left that panel.
I'm in the
I was just like, wow.
Arrest me now.
And he was like, it was his POV. And I was like, oh my God.
We are now.
I can't even tell him post this panel that I'm actually in my mid. I just arrived.
Please. So what are you guys seeing for men's, like in your specific sector? How are you seeing the men's market evolve in those sectors? Eli and I are kind of doing an analysis of it. Wellness, skincare, as well as the culinary and gastronomic industries. Like, what are you seeing in terms of trends for male markets, and how are you adapting your businesses towards those?
Oh my God. I like to say when I'm struggling with something, I'm still struggling with that. And I say that because I feel like my business right now has really shown me like it's more women driven. Like the data is like, I want to say 95% women, and like then there's two guys who show up like, oh my God, I think I kind of like this thing, and you're like, But I will say more men are being driven, especially with like taking care of their skin. You can see that they're becoming better curators, like to hear what women like. They're following them to like know which places to take them out to dine, what to shop for them, which apps to use. I would say that, but that's how much homework I've done.
That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, that's as far as it goes because damn.
I think in my industry, I have managed to bridge the gap a little bit. Again, just like Mandi, the bulk of my consumer is, ladies and women in general. But one of the things that we have done very intentionally is to collaborate. And if you have followed our journey, you'll find us collaborating with people like Rotimi, in their as instructors and people who can take you through the journey of wellness and whatnot. And one of the things that also has really helped over time, and I don't know who we can thank for this, is now we have people like even Eli, you know, they're coming and showing you their grooming. In the past, there was this toxic masculinity, like a man cannot even go to a manicurist and have their nails filed. Like, are you gay? And you start wondering, what does my sexuality have to do with me taking care of myself? Now you're seeing a man going to a stylist. Could you put a look together? I have an important function. And they're showing you, they're working with CeraVe, La Roche, all of these people doing their morning routine, evening routine. So it makes it easier as well to now bridge that gap a little bit, whereby, okay, the people you're influencing to buy a serum, where are they going to buy it?
Yeah, the reason why Eli and I are laughing is because I have never, can conclude for sure, seen a manicurist, pedicurist. I fear that if I ever do it, I might evaporate.
Okay, so you're part of toxic masculinity?
I might be part of the toxic masculinity she has mentioned. I need to work and reflect after this podcast. Because, hey, before I do this,
we need to take
I hear my ancestors rattle.
I've not been a good friend, clearly.
But I find it contradictory for you to say stuff like that because you are on a show like this.
Yeah, I am.
And then your co-host is very like, oh my God, like I look forward to Eli's like dressing up videos. I'm like, he gonna look good, talking.
I think it's the same way as women, we are really dealing with patriarchy still. Because this is what it has been for a very long time.
Fair
enough. You just have to kind of like work with grace to some extent,
whereby
you're just like, okay, it's baby steps. As long as you have my team here, at least you're using Vaseline.
Yeah, my team here, you should see when the lip balm comes around. You know, we're being given here, and then I have to, I'm always like, please.
Don't have it on camera.
Please. Not even like how to do it. You know, like we have none of this, like this wellness, like beauty industry perks.
And that's why I like this Ashton guy that came and he's spending like 3 or 4 hours literally at this point is like half a day doing wellness things, from shopping for the right things, sleeping better
in Ruto's economy, Aki. For us,
but you know, the beauty is you have to curate it now to fit your lifestyle. You can't take what he's doing and probably that is his career, and then you have a 9 to 5 and you want to take care of yourself half the day.
I think that's the thing I'm thinking, like in terms of packaging. Like that is what I'm suggesting. Maybe Bandari Beauty can create a package for us 9 to 5ers.
Yes,
then you shoot us so that even make an retinol at night. You add night something.
Night serum. But you don't know what I find ironic? Like men will speak like this, but then they want a baddie who's a 10.
Yes, but you see, the
like,
standard.
So then
the
why
baddie
you
who's
not
a 10
matching?
won't ask me about retinol.
She will.
No, she'll ask me. Put the baddie in a 10 in a nice.
But she'll bring you to the store. But you know, one of the things that we have experienced in the store, which is a bit laughable, but nowadays it's changing. A baddie will come with the partner, and the partner will look at her store, and they'll be like, "This is so feminine. I'll be out and about. When you're done, give me a call." So they'll go out. The lady will just be served and whatnot. Then when it's time to pay, then he'll just come. Like I want to find you at the reception when you're ready to pay, so I can just pay and go. But now at least they come, they sit at the waiting area and just mind the business. So it's actually changing.
Then they're giving Miss Mandi throwdown cocktail.
Wait. I think then also men need to start dating women who introduce skincare into their life. Like it creeps into the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like babes, like let's wash the one product for everything.
Let me tell you, but I was introduced to that sunscreen in a certain situation, but and then she packed me. She packed me, and then like I had that white.
Maybe you had it because you were resisting.
Then she was like, no, wait, let me tell you now. So this girl, she calls me kabisa. She's like that. And you know, now as a guy, like me, like I have to complain. Like these things, especially when it's 9 p.m. There's a whole like 20 minutes spent on like skincare. Like you're seeing the bathroom light is on. Paka KPLC, the steamer cost. You know, as a guy, you know, us guys when we're sleeping, it's One shot.
No, talk to for yourself.
No,
Let
but
him go.
we can't all be. Like, this is why I'm saying Bandari.
This is
Yeah.
where-
Create for us something that can make sense. Don't give us something. Like,
a routine that is two products.
Like 2 products. Three of the best. I just put it, ngap. I wake up, moisturized, ready for the day. We see, Eli, we
second,
can't all be
brother. Let me
having
help you.
sijui,
Let me
we are
help-
putting
let me-
cucumbers under the eyes.
Let me help you here, right? Let me help you. I think, Mandy, you said a point that maybe men need their quote-unquote baddies to teach them. I don't think that men are receptive to that as much. I think men need to see another man doing it and link
Yeah.
it to success that they're familiar with. So I feel like at the time, so maybe if firstly, accountability. I've not been a good friend. I should have taken you on this journey a long
Yes.
time ago. So we'll start that as a whole series we can do. But secondly, I feel like if you link your skin, your appearance to a direct correlation to being better in things that you typically think are masculine, then I feel like you'll get excited.
Yes.
Then I feel like, because if you, do you know what I
You
mean?
see
If
why
you
this
saw-
podcast works? Eli understands me.
No, I understand. Yeah, because the white cast.
She's.
Yeah, I've seen those TikToks where
sunscreen
they're
on
on the
the
beach.
beach.
I'll
I've seen
give you
the
a
TikToks.
complimentary one, then he brings you.
Come
There
on.
you go. There you
Yes,
go.
but then yes,
Then we start.
I think we need like a kakos. Something that can.
It's not that complex, bro.
It's not that complex.
Really?
It's
choice.
really
you,
not.
you call it serum.
No, but
Do you
like,
know what serum is in pharmacy? My pharmacist. Serum. That's what you call it. I was like,
Okay, they're kind of treatment, so yeah, more or less.
more or
no,
less.
but I loved what he said. Like
Yeah.
it's in correlation with like wanting to look better, wanting to feel better. You know, the same way how you can get like a high from people complimenting you from how good you smell. That's because you put in effort to find your scent, right? So it's just those little things that you need to
So
do.
it's the same mindset. The way I pick perfumes and the way I'm like very particular about I like this.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
the same. But is it the same for skin? I thought like skin is like
More or less the same, but also that's why you'll find even some skincare brands collaborating with people like where you get barber shops. Because now when you look at the experience of a barber shop now, it's not the same as like 5 years ago, where it used to be, when they just know they're going to do a cut here like this, and then you're gone. Now you can finish with the
Massage,
shaving, and then you're lying down, they're massaging your head, applying something.
But they don't use retinol at the barber shop.
Because you don't know, you are just
Maybe I
relaxing.
close my eyes.
Marinating yourself in the softness of
They
it
do
all.
that scrub. What's it called? The scrub thing, then the blackhead removal, then they steam the
there we
face.
go.
But that is skincare.
You got foundation, brother. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
So that when you
Yes.
put on the serum, now you can sip into your skin.
Oh, serum. Hey, okay. So
it.
I think I've learned a lot today, Mr. Wanda.
This has been a season where we've really learned. A few episodes ago, we were handling menstrual products. So now this is the next step. We're understanding
Skincare.
things that maybe we didn't before. So
but
that's
yeah.
what this program is
But
about.
that's a rabbit hole. No, I think about it.
No, it's not.
Like so, because you have to know which type of skin you are. No.
But you have the experts. Why do you want to figure
Exactly.
it out by yourself? We are here.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just
But
there
then
in
you
store,
see
brother.
now, like, okay, we're going to
You
have a
get
chat.
into the database. You become a customer,
consumer.
consumer.
You see then you start telling her. I see what she's doing.
Data. You're data. brother. You're just data at this point.
I'm not a guy anymore.
Don't dive around it alone.
Thank you so much, ladies.
I want to,
yeah.
because we are ending, of course, but I just want you to give one nugget of advice to somebody that looks up to you in your ventures. Like one thing that if every single person in business had to hear this nugget, what would it be? And you had like 2 sentences.
For me, it would be figure out your niche. When I came into the scene, I wouldn't say I was the first beauty store to ever exist, but there are other people who are in the beauty business as well. So never come into a scene or an industry trying to replicate what the person you're looking up to is doing, because then you'll be frustrated, especially when it comes to scaling the business. Because ideally then what that means is you'll always wait for the person you're looking up to do something so that you can also do it. But when you come in and figure out what will my niche look like. And if I'm to take skincare, for example, there are people who like clean beauty. There are some who love organic. There are some who want to retail. Some want to have their own brands. So come in, figure out what does that look like. And if I'm to give my own example, when I was coming into the scene, one of the things that I did was look at my competition in totality and go like, okay, what is this competition doing? What kind of products are they stocking? And you wouldn't believe it if I said that I ended up curating my inventory and made sure that there was nothing on that inventory that was existing in those particular businesses. I didn't go coming up with a list that is, okay, this one is talking this, okay, I'm going to buy this as well. This one is talking this, I'm going to buy this as well. It was more around how can I be unique in a way that I'm memorable to the customer. So I feel like the best thing I can ever advise anyone when they want to get into a new industry or they want to start their own business is, first of all, just start with whatever you have. But as you're starting, figure out what your niche would look like.
Yeah, that's really refreshing in the Kenyan market because we tend to copy paste.
And let me tell you,
do you know what I mean? Like you did
yes,
that. Yeah,
I'm gonna do that. But
Yeah.
for longevity as well, you need to be someone who thinks on their own. Otherwise, you'll always be at the back. You can't scale to the levels that you can scale. So yes, we have that as something. It's something that I deal with all the time. And as I always say, in the beginning, it used to really bother me. Like, why can't people think about their own ways of working? Why are they copying my mechanisms? Until I changed my mindset and took that as that is thought leadership. Because I'm coming up with something that people have to copy. So if anything, they're helping me have a lot of pressure to come up with something else. So but figure out what your niche looks like.
So to build on what Maureen said, so you figured out your niche, you realized like there's competition and you want to be different, have foresight. Don't just build things just to build. Like, you know how people just say, oh, niko na kabiashara tu. But you really don't know what your why is, how you can see it 5 years from now. And even 5 years is too far. A year from now, 6 months from now, consistently having foresight for your business and upskilling while you're building is very important because it puts you ahead of the curve. And now surrounding yourself with people who keep challenging your ideas, like she said, not surrounding yourself with yes men. It allows for you to have clarity on how to build with foresight. I'll keep it there.
Sorry, can I just add something?
Yes.
Tennis.
While having a niche, have a plan, like she has said, because we live in a digital world whereby I can walk out of this set and figure out and go online and find out this new thing that has come. But then if you're someone who then is swayed by trends, you go on TikTok, there's something new. You go on X, there's something new. On YouTube, people are overlining their lips. You also want to bring in stock that can help people do that. Then you get lost in the noise. But now when you have your niche and you constantly have your own strategy, and the strategy should be from beginning of the year to the end of the year. Obviously, in between there, you can change it depending on how the market is responding or your environment and whatnot. But that helps you to be anchored in a way that if you are doing, a business in the same industry as me, and you're busy executing your own strategy, it should not be able to shake me to the level where I'm abandoning my path to start copying you. I think the copying mechanism comes because people are not anchored in, their path. They are not anchored in strategy. So you're depending on other people to come up with things. Then you're like, oh, if he did that, and I can see in his videos, there's so many people who have come, then if I do the same, I'll have so many customers. And you realize when you do it, it's not the same. And the challenge that we also have is some of us have personal brands online, and they always say people do business with people they like. So you find something that I thought about, people are coming to support because it's me. It's not necessarily the business. It's because it's me. And now you who wants to copy, it's not you they want to come for. So you find yourself, you're kind of lost in that particular madness. So have your niche, but also be very anchored in having your own strategy.
Not forgetting strategic collaboration too.
Yes.
Because that's becomes like the game changer, right? You're not just collaborating with everyone, and your peers are not really your competition. They're people that you can relate with. You can look at them and be like, wow, I admire what you're doing. How can we strategically collaborate to be able to 10x what we're doing? So,
Yeah.
This episode has had people behind the cameras taking notes. I've taken mental notes. I'm going to watch this back in the edit multiple times at half speed so I don't miss anything.
Or put Gemini.
Exactly. Just take the notes. But this has been such a fulfilling conversation, and I'm genuinely inspired. And I think sometimes there's a mindset that we're talking about women in business, but I'm not looking at you guys like that. I'm just looking at you as business people because I don't want that to be a narrative where we're looking at women in business. And I think we can all learn from both genders, any age. So I'm really glad that you took your time to share your nuggets. humility, the honesty, and the transparency is so refreshing, because I think sometimes people can sit and talk about their business from an ego point of view, but there's been such a transparency that's really, really refreshing. And I think anyone at any stage of their business, of their growth, can take something from this. So thank you. It's the weekend. I know we've taken a lot of your time, but this has been such a fulfilling conversation. So thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you so much.
My perspective is, I am in awe of the both of you. I think that's the word I'll use. It's become very apparent to me that you have a very deep understanding of surviving as businesses in this economy at these times, and your need to innovate, how you articulate your business, how you articulate your business strategies, and what you want to see is something to behold. And I hope everyone watching this at home has a pen out, because I had mine, and it's been incredible to see. And I'll take these insights with me till the day that I die. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being beautiful and amazing. The lights are shining, camera is glowing, girls behind the scenes are smiling.
Brighter stories, baby.
Brighter stories for sure, my guy.
Yeah.
So,
and thank you guys also for inviting us, because I'm one person who I talk about this on my profile, that sometimes when you're very passionate about what you do, you're so immersed in it, you just work. But sometimes when you're having conversations like this, then it also, in as much as we're the ones telling the stories, it also hits you like, actually, that was a good milestone. I should have paused and acknowledged myself for, crossing over. So sometimes, situations like this helps us understand what we have dealt with in the past, how we could have collaborated better, and how to move forward from this. So thank you as well.
Actually, Oscar, thank you for calling me. And then when I disconnected the call, you were like, choose the bestie who you're having on this podcast. And I was like, damn. And you were like, you have 5 minutes. And I was like, Maureen Bandari. So thank you, because I've enjoyed myself thoroughly.
And it helps us connect on a different level.
Which is apparent. Thank you so much, ladies, again. Honored to have you, and
Asante.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode.
Half as much.
We've enjoyed making it,
because we had a ball.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Ciao.